All right. We're out here with Angus, and we're going to be working on some recall skills. And for the puppy program, what we like to do is start off with what we call the name game. And then we can graduate into a couple other skills as well. Anything that we pair with his conditioned response to his clicker, which we'll test here. Yay! Oh, perfect. So his response to the clicker, after we've practiced conditioning it at home, should be to whip around and run to me to get food. And it should happen in such a way that he doesn't even choose to respond to it. He's like, if he's sniffing the ground or if he's a little bit distracted, we should see like an instantaneous, like knee-jerk response. He might not always run all the way over to us when he hears the clicker, but we should still see that like instinctual response happening. So Alex over here has a little bit of food, and since he's kind of glued to me right now, what we're gonna try to do is pair his name with the clicker, and over a couple of reps, what will start to happen is that he'll start to respond to his name in the same way that he responds to his clicker. So in this rep, because he is so excited about this food, if Alex says, Alex is gonna say his name, he's gonna wait like half a second, then he's gonna click. If for some reason Angus just kind of blows off the clicker in that moment, what Alex wants to do is make some kissy sounds or get in his peripheral vision and catch his attention and try to back up really quickly to suck him into him. But what we don't want to do is continue to click the clicker and not have Angus take food from us, because that would kind of diminish the power of the clicker. And so, perfect. So he's going to come check me out again, and Alex can start whenever he's ready.
Angus.
Perfect. Good.
All right.
And now once he's done kind of chewing that piece of food, I'm going to take my turn. Angus. Perfect. And this is really excellent to do if you've got kids at home, because this is a really easy training game that they can get involved with.
Angus.
And we call this puppy in the middle. And you can actually add more people as long as you're really clear when you call the dog, because that can be a little bit confusing if he's paying attention to Alex and then someone in the circle calls him and he's not quite sure who said it. So just make sure you're very clear. Angus. Perfect. Yay. So the other element that we're going to play or add into this game is something called a collar grab. So one of the really mislooked elements to calling your dog, especially in an emergency situation. So let's say we were at the dog park and all of a sudden there's a dog fight, or there's something happening, or someone left the gate open, whatever. We want the ability to grab our puppy in that moment and not have them go, whoa, what was that? So we sometimes forget to practice like an emergency grabbing of the collar. The other thing that can sometimes happen with collar grabbing is that we sometimes only do that when we're about to put the puppy in the crate, and they start to associate it with like, oh, the removal of me from fun. So make sure we practice grabbing our puppy by the collar and feeding, and so that they have a positive association. It's not always like me grabbing you by the collar means I'm going to take you away from something fun or take something out of your mouth, etc. That's actually something that like we just don't even think about sometimes, but puppies definitely learn to associate that with not so much fun. So in this rep, Alex is going to play the name game, or maybe I will. I'll call him first, whichever ends up happening. But as he comes in to me, I'm going to have that food here, and with my other hand, I'm going to grab him by the collar. So go ahead.
Angus.
Perfect. So one hand's feeding, one hand's grabbing the collar.
Good boy.
And there's just going to be a moment where the food is gone and you still have the collar, and then we're just going to release him with his release word. Perfect. You have to probably take another rep.
Angus.
Perfect.
Good boy.
Grab the collar.
Good boy. Okay.
Nice. Angus. Good. I didn't use my clicker there because we already have that nice response that we're looking for, which is great. Okay.
Angus. Good boy.
Good. So sometimes dogs are a little bit more hesitant and you might be out of camera just a little bit, I'm not sure, but we want to make sure that when we first practice this, if your dog seems to be a little bit hesitant, he's pretty comfortable with this exercise. But if you're troubleshooting this at home and your puppy's like, whoa, I really don't like that part where you bend down and try to grab me, make sure that you have that food as like a landing gear. So if he goes to, let's kind of reset you real quick. Whoops, you missed that. Perfect. I'm gonna let him eat that. Angus. So he's busy sniffing and eating that food out of my hand while this other hand grabs him. And then eventually we can switch that. So let's do a couple more reps like this. Go ahead.
Angus.
Perfect.
Boy.
He's eating, you're grabbing. So in this next rep, see if you can keep him nibbling on that food and then grab the collar. You're kind of at the next step where we would want to grab the collar without the food. So we're just going to have him nibble on that food. And then I'm going to grab his collar while he's nibbling. Good job.
Angus.
Good. So he's nibbling. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Nice. That's great. And of course, like we mentioned, the next step to that, I'm just going to see if I can reset him there. That treat exploded into a million pieces. So in the next step, I'm actually going to, let me get rid of this piece of food too while I'm at it. Angus, good boy. I'm gonna grab him by the collar, good, and then I'm gonna feed. Perfect, okay. And then you can give that a try. Yeah, and so if he hesitates, you can use you can use your clicker. Perfect, toss that treat.
Good boy.
Nice.
Right. Good boy.
Yeah, and that's a pretty normal for puppies, especially little guys, right? They might be a little bit more nervous of a bigger person. Not that I'm calling you big. Or even some puppies and dogs are more hesitant towards females or males, so it's definitely a thing as well. So if you notice that, just make it easier. And make sure that you're practicing with more of those types of people that make them a little bit hesitant. So he's doing really great with that. We're going to continue practicing with him. Good job, Angie.